Welcome back, video creeps. Moving along, today we're going to be reviewing the movie Child's Play 3. Because Child's Play 2 just came out and it did really well. Child's Play 3 came out in 1991, which is absolutely cuckoo insane, because Child's Play 2 came out just a year before, in 1990. They had less than a year to film this entire movie and put it out. And honestly, it shows. They throw a new director at us, Jack Bender, but bring back the same writer, Don Mancini. But a lot of things have changed in Child's Play 3. One of the most noticeable ones, Andy is no longer being played by Alex Vincent. Instead, they wanted to age Andy up. So from Child's Play 2 to Child's Play 3, Andy goes from 8 years old to 16 years old.
I'm a big kid now.
The way this movie opens up, you see the raw bones of what once was the great Play Pals factory. Now there's just like cobwebs everywhere and the skeletal remains of what once was a profitable company. And we see that no one has cleaned up this globby plastic mess that is Chucky's remains. Like, it just stood there for years. So I always wonder, was Chucky alive that entire time? We've already seen that he can survive without a head, so perhaps he was just waiting there all this time.
I'll just wait here then.
A claw comes down and picks Chucky up and puts him over a vat of molten plastic, but somehow his blood interacting with the plastic brings him back to life. Not one of the best ways that we've seen Chucky come back, but this intro is really cool. We see a board meeting going on with the CEO and a bunch of his consultants, and they're wondering if they should bring back the good guy doll. One guy says no, one very strong woman says yes, and she can back it up.
Before any of this happened, the good guy outsold all our other toys 2-1. Even now, interest in the marketplace is at its peak.
And the CEO says something that's always stuck with me when it comes to my purchasing.
You know, one of the hardest things about this business is that it is a business. Doesn't matter what we're selling, whether it's cars, nuclear weapons, or yes, even toys. The bottom line is the bottom line. And what are children, after all, but consumer trainees?
Which I've heard Don Mancini speak about in interviews. His father actually was a toy salesman, and that is something that he used to say. So this is actually how they're speaking about your kids when they put out the hottest new toy. They decide to reintroduce the good guy dolls, and the CEO is given the very first good guy of the 90s. Unfortunately, that good guy happens to be Chucky, and Chucky kills him right away in the beginning of this movie. Bye-bye! Again, Chucky just figuring things out. He goes on his computer and is able to find where Andy is in the world.
Where are you, you little shit?
It's, again, not the internet, but my guess is that the CEO probably had all of Andy's information, so it was probably on his computer somewhere, and, you know, Chucky was able to get it. We find out that Chucky was sent to military school, because even though this kid has seen about 12 murders right in front of him, the system was like, he needs more hair on his chest. We see him going through the motions. Eventually they cut his hair, as military people do. and he sees a commercial for the new Good Guy dolls. And behind him is Tyler, getting really pumped up about what he's seeing on TV. And this scene is really interesting because it's a reversal of roles. In part one, Andy was the one that was really pumped up about the Good Guy dolls. And now this is something that gives him extreme anxiety. Meanwhile, Tyler is like... Andy goes up to his room and meets his roommate, Whitehurst, which for some reason that I can't explain reminds me of Randall's assistant from Monsters, Inc. Andy sucks at being in military school and catches the attention of Sheldon, a superior officer who's like a total fucking asshole to him.
That's Lieutenant Colonel Shelton to you, asshole.
But he also catches the eye of De Silva. And honestly, Andy's feeling that life too. Meanwhile, Tyler goes back to the mailroom in order to get a letter from his dad that didn't come. Instead, they give him a job and ask him to send a box to Andy's room. Tyler's happy to do it, but drops it down the stairs.
Hey, look out!
And sees that it is a good guy. Oh shit! He commits mail fraud, and Chucky meets Tyler. And because Chucky is in a new body, he decides that he's gonna tell his secret to Tyler.
So, what's your name, kid?
Tyler, what's yours?
Chucky. But, my real name is Charles Lee Ray.
But before Chucky can do his ritual, he is interrupted by the Colonel. The Colonel steals Chucky and decides that he is going to go and throw him into the garbage. Andy sees the Good Guy doll on the premises and immediately freaks out.
Oh, hell no!
Chucky is thrown in the dumpster and in an effort to save his own life, kills the garbage man.
My God!
And this is the kill in all of the Child's Play movies that has always stuck out to me. I don't know what it was, because even now, watching it as an adult in retrospect, I see that it's not that interesting of a kill, but it left such a remnants on me. It's like, I guess, just like the hand thing. I didn't like seeing it. Chucky goes after Andy, because he's not trying to let him fuck up his shit one more time.
Andy, how you've grown.
You're not gonna kill me, you need me. You need to transfer your soul into my body.
Wrong again, wimp. I got some fresh meat lined up and I'm not gonna let you spoil it, not this time.
And in a scene that honestly is cool, because theoretically this is Andy and Chucky getting back together again after so many years, honestly misses the mark for me. I think I would have felt this scene a lot more if it was Alex Vincent. This movie works the exact same way with Alex. And at the time, Alex was about 10 or 11 years old, so he still could have had a love interest and gone to military school. I don't see why they did this. Sheldon hears the racket coming from Andy's room, and then he takes Chucky, because this movie is a big game of steal the bacon when it comes to the Chucky doll. But Chucky's like, fuck that shit, I'm gonna go find Tyler. But is distracted by a couple of girls who want to put lipstick on him. Chucky kills the Colonel by scaring him. And Andy finds Tyler and tells him, hey man, you don't want to mess with this guy. He's really bad news. But Tyler's like,
shut your fucking mouth! Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
And doesn't want to hear it. While that's happening, Chucky is downstairs with the barber and decides that he is going to kill this motherfucker.
Presto, you're dead. It's definitely you.
Whitehurst sees this and tells nobody, because he's a pussy. Leaving Chucky to his own devices, he swaps out all of the paint bullets for real bullets for the upcoming paint war that is happening. The school is split into a red team and a blue team, and they go out at night to go on this paint war. Andy breaks off, De Silva follows, and they have smoochy kiss time.
Nothing scares you, does it? No.
Andy pries his lips away from her in order to go after Tyler, who he knows Chucky is already going after. But it's too late. Tyler has already dipped out with Chucky. And Chucky gets fed up with him because he keeps using his government name.
Watch your mouth, Charles.
Stop calling me that!
So Tyler stabs him, which is normally not an appropriate reaction to somebody yelling at you, but in this situation totally is. And he's able to run away. He runs right up to Andy, but as Andy and Tyler are reunited, the blue team and the red team find each other. And because why wouldn't they start shooting at each other? They do. But this is not enough to entertain Chucky, so he decides to up the ante and throw a grenade. Whitehurst sees this and throws himself on the grenade, sacrificing himself for everybody. It's very sweet. And then some random chick who never showed any interest in Whitehurst at all comes over and like cries on him. Where were you when I needed you, girl? Tyler escapes, Andy goes after him. Tyler is able to get away and runs to the circus, like Pinocchio. And Andy follows him. Chucky takes Tyler into a haunted house, where Andy does parkour. And eventually catches up to Chucky trying to do his chant on Tyler. Andy whips out a gun, starts shooting, is able to get Chucky off of Tyler, and gives him enough time to get up to him. In the midst of all of this, Chucky's face gets sliced off. And he looks awesome again, like how he tends to throughout this entire series. He does that thing where he jumps on Andy's back, but Andy takes out a knife and cuts off his hand and flips him down into a fan, cutting Chucky into a million pieces. Tyler is saved, Chucky is dead, so naturally, Andy gets arrested. And for one reason or another, we see later on in the series that Andy actually does go on to graduate from Kent Military. Not sure how the fuck they let him go back to the school, but okay. And then we just never know what happens to Tyler after this. It's the same thing with Jesse and Jade. Once that movie is over, you have no idea what happens to them. However, if you read this book right here, this actually is the continuation of what happens after Bride of Chucky, before Seed of Chucky. And, Jesse and Jade are in it. Where's your book, Tyler? Where the fuck are you? Up next in this series is Bride of Chucky, but seeing how I already reviewed it, I will be going straight into Seed of Chucky after this. Thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell, that way you're notified when my next video is posted. Peace, video creeps.